Hello everyone. So in the previous video we touched about the things which Indian parents do, and in continuation with that today we have coach Sanjay Arora with us, with whom we'll dive deeper into the topic.
Hi.
Hi. So what according to you is parenting?
Parenting. Let's go to the basic definition, the so-called theoretical definition. So it talks about infancy to adulthood. So let's say 0 to 18. That's the range. It talks about physical, social, emotional, and intellectual development. Maybe here, for today's discussion, we can stay on the last three: intellectual, social, and emotional development from infancy to the adulthood. Now, here, we're not talking about who has done it. We're not talking about biological parents. We are talking about the whole process. It may have been done by biological parents, it could have been done by some other people, for example, grandparents, for example, adoptive parents. So this is what we are talking about. Intellectual, social, emotional development process from infancy to adulthood.
So Sanjay, what according to you precisely is good parenting?
Good parenting. Yeah. So as you ask this question, a very significant answer has come to my mind. Good parenting is about redundancy. Let me explain this. Good parenting will of course consider what is the stage of the child. Good parenting will be about a routine, about consistency. But at the end, every parenting, every good parenting has only one purpose. The parents would be redundant as a purpose of parenting. If the parenting is such that a normal child is dependent and looking up to the parents again and again and more as it is growing, I would like to say it is anti-parenting. Parenting is all about making yourself during this process of parenting completely redundant so that the child can exist as an independent entity, perhaps bigger, higher, and better than you did.
Now that you have mentioned this, would you like to tell us what is overindulgence of parents, especially in the Indian context?
Yes, it's a very good question. The overindulgence or parents going beyond their scope of work is a phenomenon which we have seen everywhere. And in some countries, for example, Vietnam, South Korea, here in our own country, India, it's flourishing. It's flourishing heavily. And why does this happen? Why do we go for what is called overparenting? Why is it happening almost everywhere? And as I said, more in these three countries. And I have no hesitation in admitting that when you see a parent doing overparenting, it is largely coming from two facts. One, the society does not have that kind of social security and the parent is scared of what's going to happen to the child. But more important than that is the tendency existing because the parent has nothing better to do. The parent has no hobby. The parent has earned enough money. The parent is doing a regular job. And now parenting is his only so-called extracurricular activity. And then you see these parents going for the homeworks, making project works, going with the children here and there, running around like almost headless chickens. And this is what overparenting is all about. We will talk about its effects, both good and bad, later in this video. But overparenting is something that we are seeing all over the world these days.
So how does this kind of parenting impacts the child psychologically?
It has significant effects, both emotionally and psychologically. The child becomes underconfident as a result of overparenting. The child becomes entitled. The child refuses to step out and work and live independently. And that is perhaps one of the reasons that Southeast Asian children have difficulty in attaining leadership positions in international companies. They will reach second in command, but they will not be able to go beyond that because they have to always look up to for some support, for some guidance, for some thinking. So in summary, the overparenting impacts the child adversely, and this is something that everybody who is over busy in this beautiful art of overparenting must understand. You may feel important, you may have a huge schedule with respect to the child of homework, of project work, of ferrying the child to the sports and so on. But at the end, what you are doing is not helping the child. And of course, it's not helping you either.
So, Sanjay, what according to you are the specific don'ts of parenting?
I expected this question and I'm prepared for an exhaustive answer. There are 5 important don'ts of parenting. You may do whatever, just don't do the following. Number 1, do not be inconsistent. Parenting is all about a rhythm, a consistency. Whatever you are doing, whatever you have settled, do it consistently. The children are growing up. The moment you give them too many surprises, it becomes difficult for them to distinguish what is right and what is wrong, and this stays with them throughout their life. Number 2, no comparisons between your own children, between the cousin, between the uncle's son, between the children in the class. For God's sake, no comparison. The child has arrived. You can do nothing about it. You can do nothing by comparing. You can only make the situation worse. Number 3, don't protect your child from a failure. Let the child learn from their own mistakes. The child will try, the child will make mistakes, and the child will learn. If the child has never seen mistakes, it will be never prepared from a situation where something wrong will happen. And this child will be very, very underconfident. Number 4, do not be afraid to criticize when the situation demands. And I'm not talking about always criticizing, over criticizing parents. No. When something wrong has happened, tell them as follows. The expected was this, what you have done is this is the gap, and these are the consequences. And tell it with a smile. Don't tell it, this is how it used to happen in your time. Your times have gone. You have to compare it with a situation which is better than the situation what has happened, not your situation. The last one, the number 5th, is about gratitude. Do not leave any opportunity to show gratitude. Happiness and gratitude are completely linked. So if you do anything which shows the child your power to show gratitude, it will make the child very, very happy. It may look as insignificant, but in my opinion, it is the fundamental of parenting. Don't ever leave any opportunity to show any gratitude when the child is around, including to the child itself.
With that, we come to an end to today's video. Thank you so much, Sanjay, for your time. Please subscribe to our channel. Thank you.